This poem is called The Tuatara in the Playground. Recently, someone was telling me that the Tuatara in the playground in Cuba Mall, I call it a playground, it's a slide in this fucking tuatara thing, is the most pointless playground thing around. But I'm not so sure. I remember sending my kid down the slide the first few times, and that tuatara just sat there. It wasn't really worth anything. If a kid climbed it, they either awkwardly fell off or they arrived at the top and they couldn't even really call it a top or any sort of achievement. Then they just got down and that was it. But one time we were there on a Saturday morning and it was worth it. You see, some passed out, gassed up no-hoper was hiding behind the tuatara, crashed out. The heat was coming down and he was in a leather jacket, patched up with grubby insignia and wearing black jeans, and he looked like he probably stank of piss. A closer look would reveal wee stains in an open zip. But not many people were taking that closer look. Instead, they were full of information about this event. "That's disgusting," said the woman that never checked to see if the man was okay. "It's not fair for the children," said another, possibly clutching actual pearls. The Monopoly man's monocle steamed over and cracked. Such was his rage that the money he collected from every player might have to go towards fixing this. "Somebody should call the police," said somebody. But nobody did anything. Just the advice and the knowledge instantly that this was a bad man, in fact, barely a man, and certainly a waste of time. And since having children, none of these people had been out on the lash. Their wildest days now involved back-to-back Wiggles DVDs or collecting Tarquin from his swimming lessons a whole 15 minutes before it was time to drop Giselda at the equestrian centre. Next thing, the drunk, spaced-out loser guy stood and swayed and pulled his cock out, went to spray the tuatara, possibly the source of all his problems, certainly the scene of his latest undoing. Satchels were clasped tight, deep breaths were being drawn. If only there was a number to call the police. If only somebody had a phone. If only little Faith hadn't had to see this. If only wee Hope had decided to play elsewhere. This was a big deal. And the tuatara, pointless previously, was now to be protected. Something had to be done, but by who and how? If there wasn't a team of adults united by the common bond of being disgusted by the low-hanging fruit of a dreadlocked drunk in jeans and a leather jacket, then what use was any of this? So he staggered around, cock in hand, aiming to piss in the tuatara's face, and the angry mob went flaccid. The mongrel in the playground fell hard, probably for the second time at the very least. Heads down now, trim flat whites were going cold. They weren't the only things. The tuatara wasn't pointless, wasn't pissed on. He held on to his cock, flat out on his back, and then, one final attack, he started stroking it, started laughing. The cops wouldn't be the only ones to come eventually.